that you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Service Ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of freezing rain this morning. Otherwise, fog, increasing fog. Today we'll see a high around 34. Tonight, a chance of freezing rain. Otherwise, fog, increasing fog expected with a low around 31. And tomorrow, a chance of rain and more freezing rain, more fog too. We'll see a high around 35. Meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Junior Achievement at Lincoln inspires and prepares today's young dreamers to be tomorrow's goal breakers, leaders, and things we haven't even imagined yet. Help more kids while having a great time at the JA Bowl-a-thon. Sign your team up and raise money to ensure the educational programs focused on financial literacy, career readiness, and entrepreneurship are always free to thousands of students. The JA Bowl-a-thon is February 16th and 17th at Parkway Lanes and Hollywood Bowl. Register at lincoln.ja.org.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Welcome in to the Ahman Green Show, sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. 12-year NFL veteran.
He's got some speed to go with strength.
Huskers and Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer.
Shovel pass to Green into Vikings territory. Finally brought down.
And University of Nebraska esports coach.
Look at Green all by himself. 20, 10, touchdown. 98 yards and a Lambeau leap.
Here is your host, Ahman Green.
All right, welcome to the Ahman Green Show. I'm your host, Ahman Green, along with my good friend and teammate over here, Harrison Arns. How you doing, Harrison? On the one, it's the twos.
Doing pretty good here. We had the debut of the Daily Nebraskan last night. Went pretty well. I was able to. It's nice. Usually when I leave the station, it's over. It's just national radio. I got to leave, and I was able to keep it local, listening to Ben and 93.7 The Ticket. So a little bit different for me. But yeah, so if you guys aren't aware yet, 11 to 12, we do have the Daily Nebraska, and they kind of rotate members out of there. Ben Dro's on the board as always, but that show's starting up. It's just kind of nice. It rounds out the whole end of the day, and it kind of just gives you some Nebraska news. I'll talk sports, but whatever's in topic. It's a nice, something that I feel like Lincoln's been missing for a while. You know, just that. And I know that's DP's goal for this thing, to keep it going late into the nights. But yeah, now we kind of finally have a nice recap, Daily Nebraska, to wrap things up.
24/7 news information, sports information, you know, for the area, obviously, for what we're doing here, because social media is sometimes you just see what's maybe going on not directly around you. It's like,
it'll stress you out if you're on it too much. The national stress, like you can pick a new problem every day.
100%. That's why I tell, like, I only go in there just to post my clips from my shows, and then I'm off. Like, I might go in there, like, if I have time, or like maybe right before I maybe go to bed, and I'm on bed on time and not super late, I'll flick through there, find something funny, and then if I don't, I go right to sleep. But yeah, I avoid it like the plague there.
You think you'd be able to, if you were playing and say social media was kind of up to par? Like if you were to play now, you think you'd be able to handle social media, or do you think you're blessed to kind of be in that era?
No, I was at the end of, like, I got a little bit of Twitter during my career, and it was Twitter then, and then Facebook and MySpace. And I didn't do it a whole lot. I loved the information I was getting. Oh yeah. Right. Twitter, I found out that's where you could get a ton of information on whatever. Sports, business, video game, movies coming out, what's going on with certain actors, directors, who's getting traded, what sport, it didn't matter. You could find out. So I was like, oh, Twitter is about information. Then I was like, Facebook is more, or MySpace was like more family, friend updates. You can find out how everyone's doing, stuff like that, and birthdays coming up that you missed or whatever. And then MySpace, Facebook, once that came out, you kind of saw it was a little bit the same as MySpace, just bigger, more elaborate, a couple more buttons to hit and all that stuff. But no, I didn't really I didn't think of it like, I figured it out like, okay, people can, advertise stuff, but I was like, I'll probably just do just simple stuff like, when I'm at a game, or because it was like at the end of my career, but maybe coming out of practice, something like that. But I was like, no, I don't want to get too into that because I want to focus on my job. I was still playing. And it's probably like, I think Twitter, I remember it was 09 and between 06, 05, I say 04 to 09. I remember Devontae Leach, he was a rookie with us in Green Bay before he went to Houston and then Baltimore to get a Super Bowl fullback for me. I remember he got in trouble because he was posting stuff during halftime. He was making comments about how our game was going during halftime. And then the next day, Coach McCarthy was like, "Hey, rookies, especially you, like, Devontae, don't be doing that."
That's
he's
you
like, "What?"
can't be doing that. Do you remember, was it Travis Hunter or
So
Shador
basketball, right?
Sanders? With Colorado, they tweeted out their gear. I think it was Shador Sanders.
Yeah, and
I'm hoping it was his manager and not actually Shador. So this is all just hearsay. I don't know if it's actually him that
and
tweeted
it probably could have been because now it's like not frowned upon.
It's just not a good look, though.
It's not
it
a
was
good look.
frowned upon. I'm sure the manager got to talk.
Yeah, I'm not happy if I'm the head coach, and for one, and my son doing it. But if I'm a head coach, if any of my players are doing that right before the game,
I think that was the Stanford game too that they end up losing.
And I'm like, so you're not focused. You're focused on the wrong thing.
Yeah, you're trying to sell merch.
We have a social media team for that. Let them post stuff. Let them give you a camera. Right, like after the game, I'm okay. Win or lose, because I've watched NBA, I watch NFL. I haven't seen it in baseball, but I've seen like after a game, like after the guys and everybody come say good game to each other at the middle of the field, you see one of the starters or whoever had a decent game, holding, somebody gives them a phone and they start posting. So it's probably for whatever team, if it's the Packers or the Chiefs or whoever. It's going on their social media. I'm like, okay, the game's over.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay with that. As a coach, if I see that, I just say, yeah, get the focus. I don't need you right now. Now the game's over. We won or we lost. Get your butt in the locker room. Let's get on the plane or just go for the pregame talk or postgame talk. Let's have that. That's I'm okay with that part of it.
Yeah, I like what you said there. I wonder if that's just the best way to do it is just really build a great social media team, something that Nebraska kind of already has. But maybe that's one of the ways to kind of combat some of these student athletes from losing focus a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it is really addictive. I mean, it's made to be addictive to take over your whole life.
It is.
It's tough.
I mean, if you watch, obviously, the Social Network or the Social Media Network movie, the Social Network movie. Where Eisenberg, that was about Zuckerberg and how Facebook got started. And if you see the documentary on some of those people that worked at Facebook and worked at MySpace and transferred to Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, where they were, they're getting paid to make the share button, the retweet button, millions just because they made a simple little button, because all it does is carry on, like you said, that addiction to share more information or find out, or try to get more followers because you retweet some celebrity that you're following. And so it drives those all them endorphins coming out that gets released into the brain of our bodies. You're like, oh my God, I feel good because so-and-so just followed me, and it happens, we're human.
It's happening a lot. I think that's the most seeked out job by the youth today.
It is
influencer or YouTube creator, which I mean, it makes sense. It seems like a really cool job to have. But
it is. It's a lot of work.
It's a ton of work. And I think a lot of people realize that.
And I talk about it in my class. We haven't gotten to. We just started classes this week. So classes Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and so probably within a month we'll be talking more about your digital footprint. Like, what is it'll be an assignment, and actually a discussion board I'll have is, what does your digital footprint say about you? Like, so on your social media, when people go on there right now and see everything you posted on all your accounts, what would they get out of it when they see it? Would they say that, on a bare basic superficial level, oh, you're a Husker fan, you're a Raven fan, you obviously you watch Nebraska sports, religiously. You don't like Marvel, but you like DC. Like, what are they going to find on there, or are they going to find stuff worse?
Yeah, just gonna find a salty Packer or Bears fan if they visit my page.
And that's a lot of fans right now. My wife in particular as well. But yeah, it's a thing that you got to manage it. It's just like anything else that got added to our slate as the human species of things that we got to deal with.
Yeah,
already.
it's different every generation.
Yeah, it's good. Like it's a good thing. But all I told when everything started to come about, our kids were just coming out of high school when everything was starting to kick up, and I was just telling my kids, hey, just obviously don't, if somebody you don't know, because they were younger. I'm like, you don't know them, don't follow them.
Mm-hmm.
If obviously if you see my picture on it, that's me. And if you just ask me, Dad, is this your account? Like, yeah, follow me. So be careful because you got kids under 18. And it's also another place for real bad people to be online too. And so you had to be aware of that. And I was completely aware, and it was interesting too. I had friends with like, man, would you put your if you had a kid under the age of 5? I'm saying probably not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that right now. I mean, I'm going to let them grow up, and then maybe for family and friends later on, or birthday that they family friends haven't been to, then maybe I'll post something, just one shot on Facebook. But yeah, I won't want to get heavy into that. So it's just interesting because unfortunately people get into that thinking every day they got to get something out there.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's a slippery slope. And that's where you
Very
see like really great athletes maybe spend a little too much time. And kind of like what you're saying, if you got a great social media team, that's who you work with.
You have
that
to.
you focus on the game. And I tell you, one of the things, if you want to really have your social media blow up, play great at whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
That's how you solve the problem.
100%.
If you're doing, if you make the highlights on the field, it'll translate into views on your videos or whatever you're doing.
That's it.
Do you ever worry about that with esports athletes? Because they're really connected, obviously, to the internet. Most of what they do is all revolving around the computer.
Yeah.
Are they pretty locked in because they're so used to it?
Yeah, they're so used to it,
Okay.
and it's not much of a different interface. So no, I don't have to worry about it too much. I just pay attention to the chat, like the actual voice chat. So when we're in practice, and I mentioned this several times, once we get a facility, they know. I've already let a lot of the teams know amongst each other. They'll joke around, but I'm like, no, I'm real. Like I'm gonna hand out push-ups if I hear any 4-letter word or a sketchy.
And you did that
line.
at the previous
I
stop
did
too,
it,
right?
and it worked. And kids, and it was fun.
It would be fun
Because the kids were like, oh man, they were telling each other like, man, you said that, Coach Green, boom, boom, boom. And so I developed that type of culture where they were basically holding. They didn't know. I mean, they knew it. They were holding each other accountable.
You probably got a few guys getting into working out.
They did,
staying in shape.
I remember one of the kids this weekend when Overwatch practice, and one of the kids said, "Man, I'm gonna get strong. I can't control it, coach." I'm like, well. I said, well, you will. I said, there you go. Just have fun with it. Get yoked up a little bit.
What are the benefits? I mean, if you what is the real reasoning you do that? Because I think most people watch esports and they would think there's no real rhyme and reason to have them doing any sort of physical exercise.
True. That's a true statement. But I say from what I'm, in terms of the trigger point of making sure they don't say a foul word is if we're on a live stream, say if we will eventually one day be in a championship game.
Yep.
Sometimes they play those comms just as entertainment. You know how they do the quarterback
doing
the cadence? Yeah. They do the same in esports. So they have about 2 minutes of just gameplay talk. And they're, top left, bottom left, top mid, I'm one shot, but here. And so you don't want to drop a bomb there. And so I'm just getting that in them worked out in practice. So they can practice working on not saying something that they usually, because they're accustomed to doing it. I mean, right? Like I remember last year, a year ago, when I jumped in the League of Legends chat, I was like, oh my goodness.
You had to have a talk right there.
No, I didn't have a talk right away because that was my first time in there. But about a couple of days after that, I was like, hey, y'all, this is how we're going to do once we get a facility. I was like, oh. And of course, all of them were like, oh my God.
Were they aware that you were listening in on this?
Oh, yeah, they knew.
Okay.
No, they invited. I actually, I asked, hey, can you share your screen and invite me into the chat?
Okay.
And so, yeah, they knew I was there. And all the teams know you pop in there, it'll say Coach Green. So, and they'll be like, oh, Coach Green's in. And so for the ones that been aware of it for a couple weeks now and a month, but yeah, it keeps them on their toes and it gets them ready for the pro level, because in the pro level they do it. Call of Duty League, Overwatch League, 2K League, Madden. They have those times where they have nothing but the audio put on the player competing, and they do it. Football, you can't help it. It's gonna be there. It's not but it's not a vocal. You're not going to always hear the audio on a football field. Or
the players that are mic'd up, I'm sure. I mean, you've seen the videos where other players get upset if you don't let them know you're mic'd up.
Right.
You got to let that information be known.
Exactly. So you don't baseball, football. It happens in all the sports. They do it. They mic up a player, the best player on the team, the starter, what have you. But in those traditional sports, it doesn't happen all the time. So it's nothing where a coach got to say, hey, man, watch your language. It's with the esports, it's all about comms and talking and communication, and everybody hearing, the audience hearing what this team is talking about and how they're talking and relaying a message to cover the map they're playing on against the other team. So that's pretty cool to some fans. And to me as a coach, obviously I'll definitely get in there and to hear a lot of the basically you'll say jibber jabber. That's what it sounds like. You don't even know if they're putting together full words, but they teammates know. And that's what's the pure of game. That's one of the things about gaming that kind of sets it apart from some other sports where you do have call outs in basketball. You're yelling, hey, got to cut here, or, zone up here, or, double team. You're yelling it as a player or a coach. But in the comms, it's the same thing for in the headsets. You got the mic, you got the headsets, you got the mic. Make sure you've got a clear mic to hear everything, or there's no lag in it, because players can hear it instantly. Like, oh man, you got a lag in your mic. Hopefully you're, just speak loud so we can make sure we get the calls from you and all that stuff. So it's just a part of the game that as it gets more and more, introduced to the population, it's going to be a fun part that I think people could tune into.
Yeah, I never even thought about that. The communication being probably one of the most major factors when you're competing, because you think about football, that's probably as far as like those other sports come along in terms of communication. I think football's up there in terms of one of the more important. You obviously, especially on defense, you got to know where everyone's at. But with esports, like you're saying, if you ever listen to probably like a Rainbow Six event, it's crazy. Sounds like you're listening to a SWAT team, like what they're calling out there.
Exactly.
Because it's pretty realistic. And like you said, you got to have those calls on real time. But we got a few more minutes here, and I'm curious, as you're kind of building up this culture here at Nebraska Esports, you're kind of building that in. How excited are you, and how close do you feel like they're really getting into buying into the Ahman Green's esports culture, where you got to get that building in place first, but it does feel like it's starting to come together?
They're slowly buying in. We've been on Overwatch the last couple of weeks. During the break, we were off. Before, like last week, we were on them in practice, myself and Coach Tan. It's not really just my, me bringing in what I know, but it's also just them understanding how they get coached by coaches, because they've been running a program. It's been all student run,
right?
And their coaches are other students. So that's the change. So if it was me or not me, it was going to be a faculty member, well above their age bracket, that is now coaching them. And so now it's just adjusting to that. And then on the fact, then you add in a layer that it is me. My professional background is traditional sports, not esports. But I've been a gamer since I was the age of 5. And Ryan Tan, my assistant, he's been a professional gamer. He played Overwatch and other games like CSGO, I believe, and Dota 2, at the inception of esports. So you're talking about in the last 10, 15 years. And so me, 10, 15 years, I was either still playing ball or coming out of ball, but I was always gaming. I'm, obviously not at the high level, but I started once I retired, and we talked about this on the show already. Once I retired, I started getting into the heavy stuff, like finding out, about coaches and teams being created and how it works, and what are the differences between an esports organization being built out to, which I already know, a football organization getting built out from, if it's a college, if it's a high school, if it's a little league. Like, I know all the steps, and some of the same steps they were taking to build esports organizations were the same as the traditional sports. So I'm like, oh, I might have an opportunity, when I flip that switch, be like, man, I want to coach esports, because I have a lot of things I know and I learned from traditional coaching that I played when I played baseball, when I played football, when I ran track, when I power lifted, and being taught by the teachers that taught me all the way through high school, elementary on up. I'm like, okay, I think I could figure this out, but just hopefully now I just got to wait for my opportunity. And then obviously the opportunity presented itself. So I was like, man, now I better show up, or it ain't going to happen. These players are not going to buy into me right now. If I come to them and they don't hear that I know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, that was what it was at Lake. And the same thing here, based on that, where I just got to let them know, I got to get their trust first. I got to earn it. It's not just, hey man, give me.
Because they were running it.
Yeah. You going to believe what I'm going to do? No, it's me doing certain things where I'm earning their trust, and Coach Tan and all the other faculty members that's going to start helping that's been helping this program out now. Basically, it's crazy. That first year just flew by.
Yeah.
So it's been a year already since I've been on campus with this.
Yeah, it's crazy. Do you have a lot of student athletes that maybe don't recognize who you are, or is it that,
It's a few,
Okay.
very few. Man, most likely they're not from here.
right?
And that's okay. I have no problem with that.
Did you ever
And-
get a Packer diehard fan that was like,
yeah,
oh my
Packer,
god,
Packer diehard fans, Bear fans, like, oh my god,
yeah, I'm about to quit the class.
like,
Yeah,
ugh.
let me go find another
They're like,
teacher.
you're my coach. My mom and dad used to tell me that you used to do this to the, to our Bears or our Lions and Vikings. Very few though. It's a lot more Packer fans than I thought, but it's a good bunch, a good mixed bunch of Packer, Bear, Viking fans around. Yeah, of course, KC. It's always been that way when I was a kid here too, growing up. You was either KC or Denver fan,
Yeah.
or even a Viking fan living in between Lincoln and Omaha.
Nebraska's always been in that unique spot.
Yeah.
It's just like you can pick a direction and go 6 hours and you'll land in a major city for the most part. It's like you're 6 hours, 9 hours away from most of the major cities. So you definitely see a lot of that. You go, like you're saying, Chiefs, Broncos, Bears, even some 49ers fans just based off some of the Huskers. But yeah, for the most part, it's pretty sporadic in terms of fan base around here. But it is exciting as the esports here in Nebraska continues to grow, and we'll have the facility in the near future. Well, I shouldn't say near future, but a process nonetheless.
Yes, a process nonetheless. And we're looking for, like, my thing is come fall. So break ground in the summer and or spring, summer, and be ready to go in the fall of this year.
Absolutely. With that being said, we'll go ahead and throw it to our first break here on the Ahman Green Show. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. Ahman, of course, the host to my left. We'll talk to you guys on the other side.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Junior Achievement at Lincoln inspires and prepares today's young dreamers to be tomorrow's goal breakers, leaders, and things we haven't even imagined yet. Help more kids while having a great time at the JA Bowl-a-thon. Sign your team up and raise money to ensure the educational programs focused on financial literacy, career readiness, and entrepreneurship are always free to thousands of students. The JA Bowl-a-thon is February 16th and 17th at Parkway Lanes and Hollywood Bowl. Register at lincoln.ja.org.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
We wait all pro football season for the big game. But will you come out on top? Warhorse Festival of Games is putting you at the center of the action with 2 chances to win big. Earn entries for our $100,000 prop card challenge daily at Warhorse Casino Lincoln. Enjoy slots, sports wagering, and horse racing. Then make your picks about the big game to be eligible to win. Qualifying entries will also be put in the running for your share of the $20,000 grand prize drawing. Increase your luck for the drawing by playing free online games on the Festival of Games website. Skip the trip to Vegas and get in on the big game right here at Lincoln's favorite place to play. And if that's not enough, our $1 Million Bracket Challenge for college basketball is coming soon. Full details are online at warhorsecasino.com. Warhorse Casino Lincoln, just minutes from downtown at Highway 77 and West Denton Road. Why not today? Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
A lot of work goes into making Nebraska, Nebraska. Keeping it green. Helping it thrive. Making it fun. Everything that goes into caring for our outdoors, from waters to wildlife, plays a big role in making Nebraska home. Learn how we help conserve our state's natural resources at outdoornebraska.org.
Paid for by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. This is the Ahman Green Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Doors Plus.
All right, we're back in town, back on the feed here, and just in today, I've heard this from our players in the chat of the Overwatch chat and Nebraska Esports, but the Overwatch League is officially over after 6 seasons. Probably as things have broken down in other areas in esports, it's usually a financial thing. That's my guess, but it's on X right now. Got 800,000 views and probably another 700 retweets, so 13,000 likes. So yeah, after 6 years, and I'm not surprised because it was a high price tag on the franchises. So it started first year of franchising in 2015. It was $20 million for a franchise, right? Regional. So just like baseball, basketball, football. You know, we had LA team, we had a Houston team. I'm not sure it was Florida team. No, that was Call of Duty, but New York team, Chicago team. So all over the U.S. and also some in, I believe it was an England team. It was a team over in Japan or China, and then the second year or third year, then it kicked up to 40 million, and I'm like, this is the beginning of the end, because you have a franchise, you have league that has not been around at all, 5 years or 3 years at that time. And now it went on for another 3 years after that, and you're asking for more money.
Yeah, that's
I was like,
expensive. What's the average lifspan of a lot of these the
leagues
esports? Yeah, these leagues
Great
that
question.
get built up.
I would say from my experience so far,
So that's got to be short. 6 years.
It is. I would say for my experience right now, I would say anything at 5 years or more.
Okay.
Call of Duty's doing pretty good. They, even though they started their league, they've always had their tournaments though. They always had world championships where they had the esports org. So since probably Call of Duty 2. I know if Clone is listening, I know he knows when that started back in probably in the last 10, 15 years. So they've been doing it since for the, I would say 09, 07, 08 maybe. And that's when orgs are still coming about where they will grab a kid, high school age, college age, right at a high school senior age, the freshman of college, and give them a contract and then put them on the team. And then obviously whatever monies they'll negotiate, it's an 80-20 thing or 90-10 thing. For whatever their winnings, they get 90% of it. The organization gets their 10 or 20%. So that's how it started. And when the league start really kind of like saying we're a league, like we're going to be similar to the NFL, NBA, like Overwatch League and Call of Duty League, and then NBA 2K League, that's when the contracts were getting more, I'll say, serious and then more designed like our contracts in traditional sports. And so, because I know in esports, it was treacherous because it was like the Wild Wild West.
That's the biggest thing with esports, whether it's players, games, with everything. That's why I will say this for everyone. It's kind of what I was talking about yesterday. If your kid's really into esports, let him just get involved with the whole thing, because that's the whole thing with esports that always kind of concerns me. If you're super set on it, is I don't know what the average length of a pro gamer is either.
No, it's good question.
Because some players are so good that they can stay on top for a really long time, but we talk about time like 13-year-olds in summer, they got nothing to do. They can hop on the game all day, every day.
Right.
And we all know what those unique skills are that we picked up at a young age, that when we get to 30, 40, we can still do that same skill to near perfection. You get those young kids on those games that got all day to play. Like you see a lot of 13-year-olds being the quote unquote best player in their game.
Yeah, because they got the youth.
They pick it up really fast.
They pick it up fast, and they have the time. They're not working no job. They have no other responsibilities.
Got some math homework, and then I'm back to gaming.
Exactly. Same with what I used to do. So yeah, esports career lifespan 6 to 8 years.
6 to 8.
Yeah, actually better than
that's not terrible. That's not as bad as I thought. Yeah, it's like NFL shorter. So
it's like it's been 3.5 since I was in the league. It's still there. I remember when I got drafted to Seattle, the average was right under 3, like 2.5, 3 years for a running back.
So what does the contracts kind of look like for esports pro players? Is it kind of top heavy? Like you got to be the best of the best to get paid, or if you're a fringe kind of guy, but you're still on a pro team, or is it all league dependent? Like what game are you playing?
Well, it's all dependent on that. If you have a league, I know when I first started to dig around and think about even I say a sliver of a thought of building a franchise, and I looked up pay salaries for esports pros, and then from game to game, like I started off just looking at Madden, and I saw a Madden pro average anywhere from 80,000 to about 200,000 a year, and that's basically their winnings in the tournament. So unfortunately, as a coach or as an organizer, or I say a team organizer, the CEO or founder, that we're basically taking, like an agent fee, we're taking a cut from that player if he's a part of our roster, right? Because they get branding from us, they get social media help if they're under our moniker, our logo and all that, just like anything else. So there's a little percentage that we got to negotiate out of it when they win, because they're practicing with players that we're making sure they're staying on top of their game. You recruit other Madden players to play against your Madden players to make sure they stay sharp, similar. Kind of like with our recruiting here, we have JV, we have varsity, and the JV players is eventually going to, we're not eventually, but we're giving them the same amount of attention as the varsity players to develop them, because eventually those varsity players are either going to, one, graduate, they're all going to graduate, and then two, they're going to be pro. And so we want to make sure that from what we do as a job as a coaching staff, we develop them properly, because then nothing surprises them when they get to the pro level in the game that they're playing. If it's Overwatch, for example, and we just had this conversation with our Overwatch team, that's like, look, when we, at the end of the day, we want to make sure when you get there, there's nothing new that you got to adjust to. We gave you everything we could throw at you to prepare you properly. It's similar to what my experience on the football field. Coach Osborne, Coach Solich, they gave us everything. And between the black shirt defense and scenarios, situational football, mentally to get ready, physically too. When I got to Seattle, I was just like, I was almost bored. I'm like, what else? I'm like, I've been a part of reading defenses, picking up blitzes, cutting guys down to the ground in terms of cut blocking and making sure I know it. This is it. Like I remember the first practice, I think I mentioned previously on the show, earlier show, that my first NFL practice, regular season practice, I barely broke a sweat.
That and still that in shape from your time at college?
Yeah, I was like, feeling my gear. I'm like, is this real? I say, are we done practicing? I barely just started little bubbles of beads above on my forehead.
That's why it's a great program. You see that with the great programs. Who was that? I'm blanking on the name. Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. Help me out if you can remember. Who was that Ohio State player that when he got to the NFL, he mentioned at the quarterback position, it was easier. Like he wasn't taken in nearly as much as he was at Ohio State.
Ooh, I don't know. That's a good one.
Yeah,
I mean,
it'll come to me. I'm gonna try not to look it up.
quarterbacks. I mean, we could go back as far as Herb Street.
It was pretty recent. It's a recent quarterback.
Maybe Justin. Was it Justin?
It wasn't Justin.
Or was it just before Justin?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who it could have possibly been.
I know it was what's his name? He one passed away. Played for the Commanders. Was it him?
No.
I can't think of his name though, but he just passed away, unfortunately.
It's going to come to me. I'm going to wait. But in the meantime, I do want to bring up these numbers because we're talking about, what do you actually get paid if you're the best of the best? Just out of curiosity. So this is November 2023. So it might be a little outdated, but for the most part, it's going to be pretty accurate. And just take a guess. The 15th most successful professional esports team. How much do you team? Okay. It's a team. So group between the team of about, it looks like it's going to be a 6-man roster. How much do you think they brought in 1 year in total earnings through tournaments?
Ooh, good question. And now,
we'll jump to number one and see the disparity.
The thing about this, and gamers know this, it's not just here in the U.S. And so the bigger orgs, esports orgs, are international.
This illustrates that these numbers are high.
In Europe, they're in South America, over in Asia. So, man, and I would have to say maybe it has to be T1.
T1 at 15
over because they League of Legends squad with Joker.
Yep, League of Legends is their number one earner. Just in award winnings through League of Legends, they've made $8 million, over $8 million.
Yeah,
and Dota 2 they've made $1.5 million. StarCraft 2, $1.1 million. Their top player looks like he's earned $1 million himself.
That's Joker.
Yep, the Joker. And a few other guys. We'll jump all the way to number one before we go to break here. So that is 12 million, and that's T1, 12 million in total earnings. And then if you go all the way up to number one, the numbers are crazy. Do you have a rough guess of what you think it's going to be?
Total earnings?
Yep, total earnings. Prize money earned.
I would say
for this team.
I would say in the neighborhood of.
And if you can guess the team, I'll give you bonus points if you can get the team too.
Well, I'll say the amount is between 40 and 50 million. And the team, I don't know. I mean, I knew T1 for sure because I studied them a lot when I first got going in this world, in this space. But I know it's an international team. There's no team over here in NA because our orgs are fairly new.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say when I say fairly new in the last 5 to 10 years, esports orgs internationally have been around 15 years. And so beyond T1, no one pops in my brain right now.
I've never actually heard of them. I'm surprised.
Maybe Singularity's one.
They might be on this list, but they're not number one.
Okay,
I can start rattling some and knock off the elimination that aren't number one. Team OG at 2, Evil Geniuses 3, Team Spirit, Team Secret. What was the one that you just guessed?
Singularity.
Does not look like they actually made the list on this one, so they must have just fell short.
Got it.
I'm gonna give it to you. Team Liquid.
Oh, okay.
And with a whopping you guessed the money right though, $42 million in prized earnings. Their number one game, Dota, once again, 24 rounded up $25 million just from that game alone. About $6 million from Counter-Strike and over $1.5 million from StarCraft.
And the beauty, like the one thing with Dota, that was the first initial like big esports game.
Is that like the longest running pro game still?
And it's slowly losing steam. A lot of games are League of Legends. I mean, talking to Coach Tan last night and playing games over the weekend, he's like telling me like the League of Legends is losing its steam. I'm like, what? I'm like, really? And I'm like, I wonder why, because that's not good for esports, right? You don't want your best games losing steam.
Yeah.
This is a free-to-play game, as by the way. The things you pay for is the skins.
Okay, so it's just cosmetics.
It's
the things you're paying, kind of like the Fortnite model.
Like Fortnite, so they started the Fortnite model, and then Fortnite just took it and amped it up basically with all the other things they've added to what you could buy within the game. So that's not a good sign for esports, even though it's a game that everybody doesn't play, right? You know, a lot of people play, you know, there's so many variety of games out there. Even though one game is failing, that's not good. Because if one game fails that was a very popular game, then what's that saying to all the games that are not really a popular game, but it is played by professionals?
Mm-hmm.
That's saying that eventually this game is going to fade. It's going to be a fad. So we as gamers, we as coaches of the gaming space, we got to make sure we cultivate the talent to understand that it's going to be a long road sometimes to play your game, to be good at it, to hold your rank.
That's the thing. Hold it.
Right. And stay on top. Something I face a lot when I play Madden. Players quit.
Yeah.
I'll be up a touchdown, 14 points in the first quarter. Still got 3 quarters to go. Guys have just shut the game down. I'll see the little sentence that says your peer, you know, has lost connection.
And I'm laughing. I've definitely done that before.
I'm like, come on, finish the game. Be a man, woman, whoever's playing over there. Take the L.
Yeah.
Don't quit the game. Like I've gotten destroyed and I played the whole game out. And it's just because the way I was raised. And so unfortunately, just like telling parents of gamers, look, they got to sit there and go through an L.
Yeah.
If you're the dad or the brother playing your son or daughter or your brother or sister in the game, beat them up. Don't let them win. I'm not saying that to be mean. It teaches them better how to adjust and get right in a game. When you just let the kid win, they're not learning anything.
Yeah, that's the key, right? You'll never, anytime you run into a guy that has that similar play style, you'll never figure out how to beat it.
Exactly. So when you start, if you don't let them win, that you make it tough on them, they're gonna think around the problem. Okay, my dad likes to do this when we're playing Mortal Kombat. He likes to use Sub-Zero and he does this move, and so it gets the kid thinking now. Now he's critically thinking, okay, I'm gonna get around when he does that one move because he just spams that one move. So that's skills that people, parents don't realize, and other folks out there don't realize, that a kid playing a game and not learning through a way of basically giving them the win when they're getting beat up by their older brother or dad or mom who plays games, that is teaching them a whole world of things, because then they'll take that into the real world and don't even realize like they have a tough day at work because their manager or boss is doing whatever, or it's Christmas time and they might be a male man or male woman and they got a big load of envelopes to take out. You're like, oh man, it's gonna be a lot of walking today. When you look at your mail truck full of stuff during the holiday, so it's like, you know what, I'm a grinder. Let's go.
Yeah, think about all the moments you lose too when you decide not to grind it out.
Yeah,
how much more fun are those wins when you come back?
Right,
like
awesome.
It feels so.
And
much
it's happened
better.
to me.
Yeah,
it's happened to me. I remember probably like within the last 5 years on Madden, I'm getting drugged, and I just slowly, okay, let me just stick to my plays because I was sometimes. I got behind because I was turning the ball over and I was running plays I wasn't familiar with. So I was like, you know what, let me just get back to basics. Just run the ball for now, since the game is kind of out of touch for me. I'm down by 21. And then slowly but surely, I start coming back, and the other player on the other side starts messing around, doing punts or doing stuff that they should not be doing. And then all of a sudden, I got the lead. It's tied up. And then I got the lead, and then I'm winning, and I get a text message or a DM saying, you suck, Batman AG 30. I'm like, well, I suck. You beat me.
Yeah, that's how you know. You know it's a good game if you get the message post game.
Yeah, for sure.
If you get that one-on-one player press conference.
I get it at least twice a week, either in Halo or in, I play, those are the ones I play mostly. Halo or Madden. And then when I do, let me see, what else do I'll throw down there?
UFC, they'll bark. I don't know what it is about UFC.
Yeah.
If you hop online at
it's
UFC,
game,
you don't mess around. Like they get real about that game. But we do have to go ahead and throw it to break here. Just a real quick update on Nebraska hoops. They currently do lead Ohio State. 2-point lead, 34-32. Rank Mask leading the way so far for the Huskers. Leading score for them with 8 points, but it's been a pretty rounded performance so far. So we'll keep you updated on that one. As again, there's about 3 minutes left in the first half, and Nebraska has the lead over Ohio State. But we'll throw it to break here on the Ahman Green Show. Ahman, the host, as always, to my left. Harrison on the ones and twos. We'll talk to you on the other side.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round. And their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Make plans to stop by the Rock Creek Renegades Gun Show this Friday through Sunday at the Sandhills Global Event Center. The show will feature guns, ammo, and supplies for shooting enthusiasts. Admission is $8 per person with concessions available. Hours are 5 to 8 p.m. on Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturday, and 9 to 3 on Sunday. Located in the Currency Pavilion. It's the Rock Creek Renegades Gun Show from January 26th to the 28th at the Sandhills Global Event Center at 84th and Havelock.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
If you're looking for a pre-owned tractor to upgrade your operation, you'll find a wide selection at your local Landmark Implement. We'll work with you to find the right equipment for your needs at a price that's right for you, all backed by Landmark's extensive parts and service network. During the month of January, choose from an 8-month interest waiver or a 3.9% fixed rate for up to 60 months on used 6, 7, 8, or 9 series tractors with approved credit. Visit landmarkimp.com to see our complete inventory or stop by your local Landmark location today and experience the Landmark difference.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Acres, your premier John Deere dealer, has the largest selection of late model equipment in the Midwest. And for a limited time, Acres is offering low rate financing on all 2021 and 2022 S and X Series combines and 8 Series tractors. Qualified buyers can earn 3.9% financing for 60 months. And as an added bonus for your holiday season, if you purchase one of Acres' eligible machines before December 31st, you'll get a $5,000 gift card from Shields. Go to acres.com to learn more.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
A lot of work goes into making Nebraska, Nebraska. Keeping it green. Helping it thrive. Making it fun. Everything that goes into caring for our outdoors, from waters to wildlife, plays a big role in making Nebraska home. Learn how we help conserve our state's natural resources at outdoornebraska.org.
Paid for by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is the Ahman Green Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Doors Plus.
Next week. Looks like we have a bye week next week. It doesn't see. I don't see Nebraska esports with anybody next week on the 29th.
Okay, so that's good to know. So welcome back into the Ahman Green Show. We're kind of discussing what the schedule looks like here. It looks like we do got a bye week for esports next week.
Yeah, it looks like it because it starts Monday. The 29th says it doesn't have a team in the bracket or underneath our name.
Okay.
And then let me see if I can find the week after that, which is the 5th. Who do we have that week? We have Rutgers after that. So, yeah, we have a bye week next week, which is good. The second week of school, probably the heaviest week for all the students. And then after that, we have Scarlet Knights for our that'll be so this is last week was week 9. This is week 10. So week 11 we have a bye, and week 12 we'll have Rutgers, Scarlet Knights, and Overwatch, Rocket League, Smash Brothers, and Valorant.
Okay, so we're kind of losing the trend there. It was seeming like every time they played, we're talking about the basketball team, women's or men's. Someone was always playing whoever the esports was playing at the time.
Yeah, and then we got Maryland next, the week of the 12th. And
who are kind of the juggernauts in esports in terms of the Big Ten right now?
So Big Ten,
as we're advancing,
actually, I got
towards
we can look
deeper into the season.
We sure can look at the rankings.
Yeah, and while you pull that up, just quick update for Nebraska hoops. They do lead the half 43-35. Rink Mass continues to lead the way in scoring. So good things there. And again, once we get to that second half, we won't have a post-game show tonight due to high school. We'll be covering that. Josh Lill on the call for that one. Lincoln East and Lincoln Southeast. We'll have the call for that one here. But of course, I'll give a little summary of Nebraska hoops, and we'll also have Daily Nebraska to kind of wrap things up from 11 to midnight. So still plenty here left on Ticket Weeknights, but we're able to pull up those Big Ten. I'm kind of curious who's pulling away here.
Who's your pick for number one? And I'll say I'm starting with Overwatch.
I'm gonna go with Overwatch. We talked about this. Some of the schools are really good at the first-person shooters for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Michigan?
Not too far away.
Okay. Ohio State.
Just a little, not right, but a little further north.
Minnesota?
East of Ohio.
Oh man, it's not Rutgers. It's not going to be Michigan. It's not going to be.
Who did you say? What was your first guess?
My first one was Michigan. Then I went Ohio State, and then
that's east of Ohio.
It's not going to be Minnesota. It's not going to be.
It is. It's your neck of the woods.
It's Illinois.
Yeah.
No way. They're fighting Illini.
They're 10-0. They only lost one map. They have a 90% game win percentage. So they have 28 wins, one map lost.
Do they got some real guys on that team?
They must have.
I was gonna say. At least in terms of first-person shooters,
yeah,
they must be solid.
I believe we have not played them yet. So we'll probably get them later in the season. But they're 1. Scarlet Knights 2, who we have in a few weeks, like I just mentioned. Minnesota's 3. Penn State's 4. And then we're mid-pack. We're sitting at 5, we're 2 games under 500, but we can make a run. We already got 1 victory. We're going for another one tonight against who did I just say? I forgot real quick.
You got bye week, then you got Rutgers after.
This week, Northwestern. We got Northwestern now, bye week next week. So we gotta start it up again.
Yeah.
Get the wins going.
What is there upset probability when it comes to esports? How likely is that? Because it's one where it's typically on skill, the more skilled team's gonna win out.
It's just knowing your opponent, because even though you watch film and it's something where maybe it may get to the player's head. I haven't experienced it a lot here, but obviously at Lakeland when I was there, my teams, before we really got into coaching hard and get them to understand that, hey, it's also, you got to don't care about the ranking. It's just same in all sports, right? Teams are ranked number 1, 2, 3. You have player rankings in the game. So that team will have a higher ranking because all their players, you accumulate all their scores, their ranking, and it gives them a higher ranking tier above your team. But you got to play them. And then some of my teams were like, oh man, we're going to lose this. I'm like, why? They're ranking higher than us. I'm like, they can have a bad day.
Mm-hmm. They got the pressure now. They're expected to win. You guys aren't.
Exactly. And then they kind of look at me and I'm like, I'm just saying. I'm like, I got confidence in y'all. I was like, I'm only, talk about a loss if we lose. I'm like, the game ain't started yet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what they're ranked and how many points they're ahead of you. I got confidence in you. We coached you up. You're all ready to go. I said, so your confidence is on you, and I'm giving you every support that I could give you. And so right now, like I said, I haven't experienced that here, and I don't think it's going to come because a lot of players, all the shooter games that we play, I say between confidence and they prep very well. Call of Duty is probably one of the better teams, but all of them do it very well. Valorant, Overwatch 2, CSGO, or Rocket League, and not Rocket League, but I'm trying to think. It was a Rainbow Six Siege, even though it's not part of the competition. It's club team, Rainbow Six Siege as well, or Apex. I mean, they practice, they get their reps in, and that's one thing I definitely congratulate them on, or I'll tip my hat on the Nebraska esports, is that when they practice, even though it might be a little later than what I used to do, and then ideally having a facility because you want them to get their practice in, but don't get back to their dorm rooms at 10 o'clock and stuff like that. But right now, that's what they got to deal with, and they handled it very well. Doesn't affect none of their classes. They do very well in school. So that's one thing I'm proud for all my esports players, that part of it where they can understand their daily schedule and not get, wore out by having a late practice or having a late game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great that they're getting in that work, and it's going to be curious to see once that facility is in play here what this program starts to do. But it's good. You guys are already kind of in the middle of the pack here, only up from here as we get back into the swing of things.
Yeah, that's just Overwatch.
Oh, that wasn't the overall, just the Overwatch League.
Yeah, that was just the Overwatch League.
That's right. Super Smash, you guys are pretty dominant.
Yep. And let me see, Rocket League here. If I can sneak in here, if it's their stats. And Rocket League, it's Illinois again.
That's a good week. Yeah. I mean, you know what? If there's one thing about playing those good teams, it's an opportunity. Yeah. That's the one thing about it. It's a glorious opportunity to go ahead and beat great opponents.
And then we're number 4 for Rocket, or for Smash. We're ranked 4th. And then we got one more to go because I found the tab where I could hit
10 seconds. 10 seconds. Sneak it in.
Yeah, sneak it in. Boom, boom. And Ohio State's number 1 in Valorant. And we're middle of the pack, 5-4. One game over 500.
Well, we got to wrap it up here, but make sure to check out Esports with Ahman Green.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the pursuit of justice for those that have been injured.